All right, ready when you are.
Cool. Have you seen Black Dynamite yet?
Black Dynamite.
Have you seen Black? I was gonna say Black Thunder. Then.
Yeah, I have. Those are the all black TV shows at the same time. Is that what it is?
Dynamite.
Lightning. All right. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Geek Syndicate episode 292. And what are we doing in 292? The same thing we did in 291, bringing the sass back to geekdom. I am Mons, and he is...
Dynamite.
Barry Dynamite.
Yeah.
Hello, Barry Dynamite.
I should have said Nugenite.
Nugenite.
But obviously, as I established many years ago, Nugenite is a mystical rock which will weaken me if it's within close proximity.
Where does it come from? You really got to tincture your origins. Because you got stumped at the first hurdle. The first damn hurdle.
I was going to say the Planet Nuge, but that just sounded wrong.
Planet Nuge. That's no moon.
It's just a planet of just Nuges.
Oh, I can't think of anything
all
worse.
Different types of Nuges. Mystical Nuge, Hunter Nuge, Worker Nuge,
Smart Mouth Nuge,
Smart Mouth Nuge, Slapdash Nuge,
Slapdash, Monts Nuge.
Why you got to do that? You're just upset because Monts don't work as well in front of stuff as Nuge does.
Shut up.
Do you know what I mean? You got to be hating on me, man.
Shut your damn mouth.
Yeah.
As my daughter likes to say to me these days, zip it.
Right.
which is a touch uncomfortable. Hey, I've broken my leg.
Right. When you spoke to me earlier,
Yeah.
you did not say you'd broken your leg.
That's because what I've just said is a lie.
Right.
I've torn my cartilage dancing to Teen Titans Go at 7-year-old's superhero birthday party.
That is literally the very definition of taking one for the team. I can literally see you now. Teen Titans Go! Medic! Man down!
That was literally it. You know when they say, I saw stars?
Yeah.
Dude, I saw stars, man.
Really?
But I'm like, I spent my life flipping, doing splits, whirling around, jumping in the air, coming down. And it's a sidestep move in the Teen Titans dance that did me in. I'm like, how the indignity could not be bigger. Teen Titans! God, Teen Titans! Never want to hear that again.
Do you know, when you told me, that's what I thought. I thought, he's gone and done the splits one time too many. Oh, well, had to happen sooner or later. He said, I was just doing a sidestep. I'm like, wow.
Seriously, I thought the splits would get me one day, but, well.
Who knew?
Who knew? Teen Titans, damn you. Anyway, the birthday girl was doing a mean raven, though, I've got to say. So
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All do.
Anyway, and also there was a Kylo Ren there. I went to go, dude, it's a superhero party, man. Ain't a science fiction party. What are you thinking?
Yeah, if you're gonna make that,
did you not read the invitation?
If you're gonna make that kind of effort, man.
I know. I was on my way, and Siobhan stopped me. Said, "He's 6, man."
I've got a vision guy to be backhanding him.
Leave him. He's 6. Let it go. He's got glasses on.
Hey, people who wear glasses are deadly. I'm just telling you that.
I know. It just makes you think twice before you backhand them across the face, doesn't it?
That's true. That's why I've worn glasses since I was about 7 years old.
Talking of which,
yes.
Can I just say, your choice to play you in Geek Syndicate the movie is inspired.
So, for people who don't know, on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, I was watching The Good Place, and I suddenly thought to myself, because I am up my own arse like that.
Got to say though, before you go on, The Good Place is one of the few programs that has made me laugh every single episode.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And basically, there's a character in there called Chidi. Yeah, him.
Played by William Jackson Harper.
Yeah, he's a mate of Jimmy Aquino from Comic News Insider.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, him. I'd have him playing me.
Yeah, it's perfect, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If they ever decide to do a UK version of Good Place, and I can get some acting lessons, maybe I can borrow the same acting coach that they used on the Han Solo spin-off movie.
Wow. Although I've got to say, B, I've never met an acting coach good enough for you.
That's a bit harsh.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, look how bad I feel.
Hey, look, man. Unless you want another broken leg, I suggest you shut your mouth.
All right. So yeah, right. Let's talk geek stuff.
Yay! Can I just say before we get into geeks, well, it is actually is getting into geek stuff. That Han Solo movie, right?
The one where they had to get an acting coach in,
right? I have to say, I'm actually, I've gone from like, give it a go, and I don't like to be down to being quite concerned. Do you know why I'm concerned?
I do.
Right? Because the movie comes out in about 4 months.
Yeah.
Right? How can you have a Star Wars? Now, let's just look at it. Let's look at it, right? This is like royalty in Star Wars. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Rogue One, you could make the argument that, none of the characters were established characters, were they?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
This is a spin-off movie with not only an established Star Wars character, but one of, like, the fan favourites.
Yeah.
The kind of trilogy, the Trinity, sorry. You could either have had Leia or Luke or Han, you know what I mean? And they've picked Han. We haven't seen a poster. We haven't seen any...
And historically, that's never said good things.
No, we haven't seen any shots of the movie other than what's been sort of snuck out. We've seen no footage whatsoever. No teaser trailer. And it's 4 months.
Yeah.
And this is Star Wars. Do you know what I'm saying? You think about how they've marketed The Last Jedi, Rogue One, and Force Awakens. They have thrown money at the marketing machines. And I would argue you don't really need to market Star Wars that heavy. You should have to give people a date. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas with Solo, which is what it's called, I mean, the fact that they couldn't even be bothered to come up with a more imaginative title than Solo.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Wow.
It suddenly just occurred to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what the hell's going on? I'm just sort of doing a bit of a search. Right. So Solo, right, is released 25th of May.
In cinema terms, that's just round the corner.
That's just round the corner.
Mm.
And we've seen nothing. When you think they put out teaser trailers for Force Awakens and blah blah blah, almost a year before it came out, didn't they?
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I was trying to think there was something else. Oh no! The last thing it was a bit like that.
What?
Was Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it was. I've still not seen that.
Oh no! Trust me.
Oh really? That bad?
Well, do you know what? It's always interesting to watch these things and get an opinion and whatever. And if you feel like that, go for it. But I'm seriously telling you, if you've got a list of stuff to watch, it can sit quite happily at the bottom.
Right. It's just every time I put Netflix on, I'm scrolling through. Terminator Genesis keeps popping up, and I keep just scrolling on past it. Going, nope.
All right, Terminator Genesis. I loved the first half.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the first half. I thought they had a great concept because the time travel, man, things have to go wrong the amount of times they're going backwards and forwards. So I like where they're going with it. And then the second half, I was like, what? You could have done great things with this.
Right.
But you know what I wanted to say just now? So just going back to The Good Place, there's an Asian girl who plays Vicky
Yes.
who's like one of the demons. You know, she's Sabine Wren in Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, what? She does the voice?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Do you know, I was just, as you started to say that, I was about to say, oh, she looks really familiar, and then I thought, actually, that makes no sense to what you just said.
Absolutely none. Absolutely none.
She still looks familiar, though. Speaking of Star Wars Rebels, have you seen the new trailer they've put out?
No.
Mate.
This show is so good.
Mate, they've put out a trailer for so obviously we've now got the second half, which isn't starting, I think, until... I think that's not coming back to April either, actually. So, and these are going to be obviously the final episodes, and no more sort of Rebels and stuff. Mate, let me tell you, that trailer is on. People ain't making it out of that show, I'm telling you.
Well, there's got to be a reason we don't hear about them in Star Wars.
That's what I'm saying.
They like to make it all match up now. So
yeah. But then, you know, this whole concept of like, you know, there was only like Ben Kenobi left.
Yeah, but see,
I ain't buying it.
No, I ain't buying it. Because don't forget, in the prequels, one of the few great bits of it I thought was the sacking of the Jedi Temple, and the fact that they risked, they had to put out a beacon to warn any other Jedi out there.
Yeah.
So there's obviously others that went into hiding or gave it up or just got depressed and hit the bottle.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe they're not Jedi anymore, but they're Force practitioners or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So I kind of hope they find a way to kind of get around it with maybe not both of them, but certainly one of them. Rather than just, I don't want it. I don't want them to give us a Rogue One ending.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want that. I want something. Give me something, man. But I've got to say, odds are stacked against them.
Yeah, it looks that way.
And you know who's returned to do a voice? Is it Ian McDermott or something like that? Who played Emperor Palpatine?
I was going to say that's Emperor Palpatine, isn't it?
Yeah, he's coming back to do the voice.
Nice.
And there's a little clip of him on the trailer. I'm like, okay, it's sort of, for the time he rocks up, you know it's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously you got Grand Admiral Thrawn doing his business, and I still say he's still one of the best villains that I've seen in that show. Man.
No, do you know what? There's a new villain to replace him.
Boy, that's big words, man.
It is. Well, I don't quite know if he's a villain yet because I haven't figured quite what his game is.
Right. We want to talk a little bit about Star Trek Discovery. I'm going to say once again, because we can't talk about this episode without spoiling it. So what I'm going to say is, if you haven't seen the latest episode of Star Trek Discovery, then just hold fire for 5 minutes or.
Right. So Star Trek Discovery. I watched the latest episode.
Yes.
And we had a chat earlier, and we talked about the possibility that Captain Don't Give a Shit wasn't from our universe.
I told you, man.
Yeah, but you know what? You said it, and suddenly things started clicking in my mind, and I was going, "You're right." And there was something else that I had noticed episodes ago, and I was struggling to remember what it was. And the episode started, and my brain went straight back to something, and I thought it's the eyes, because good writing drops clues along the way.
Yes.
So one of the things they established early on was that he had some eye condition, did this. Now, the very first time that Michael Burnham pretended to be captain on her ship, which wasn't her ship, do you know what I mean? Yeah. She wakes up. The next episode, she wakes up and she's kind of doing a personal log.
Yeah.
Or she's chatting to what's his name, and she said, "Yeah, even the light here is different, more muted, like the brightness has gone out of the universe."
Yes.
And I was like, she was telling you right then.
Yeah.
Right then, and I suddenly remembered it. Went, "Yep, it definitely. And you were right, because the guy just did not want to go home.
No. And did you check the little smile in the previous episode?
When you said that, I went back and watched it, and you were right.
Yeah.
Genius. So but my boy, and this is why I say, if he is a bad guy, I haven't figured out what his deal is, because he might not be bad, he might not be good, he might be kind of grey. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know yet. But if he's bad, Yeah, then he's going up there in the list of villains for me because my boy was playing the long game.
The longest game ever, man. Well, with the exception of Palpatine. But that, in my mind, right, if he's a baddie, yeah. Now, I'm sorry, that one's topping. That still, Palpatine's crown is still solid. Yeah.
True. That was like he won for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Held pole position.
He held pole position. And it was his own boy that took him out. You know what I mean? The Rebels didn't really win as such. It was his own boy took him out. So, however, in that pantheon of villainy, my boy's got a rate up there in the top 10 for me if he's the villain. Because... And I watched when
Michael Burnham was putting it all together, man.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough. And it's just and the thing is, loads of people have been speculating that for a long time. And you could argue, some people have said this, well, it's not really that much of a twist, is it? Well, do you know what? At the end of the day, because you've got the collective internet and everyone's talking, it's easier to
come to a consensus.
And if you're constantly trying to peek behind the curtain, you're gonna see the wizard as an old man. You know what I'm saying?
And I think like people like us. I'll sit there with Siobhan and I'll tell her how it's going to end.
Yeah.
Because I've been watching stuff like that for so long, and you get to see, and it's not even watching that medium for so long. You just get used to writing tricks.
Yeah.
You see them.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you watch it, your average detective thriller. It's like, okay, she's going to scream in 3, 2, 1. And the killer's this guy. How'd you know? Because it said guest star.
Yeah.
You know?
But what I loved about the way that they did this is that it's all character. You know what I'm saying? And it's the fact that it was just beautifully done. It doesn't matter that we might have guessed it or whatever. It's about how the characters are reacting to it, and the fact that he completely pulled the wool over all their eyes. And I could buy that he'd done that. And all through that show, the show's been telling you something's not quite right about that dude. Even that woman who was kind of the admiral woman that he sold out to the Klingons. Even she said...
What's her name?
I can't remember now. But even she said, something's not right with you. Do you know what I mean? Something's not right. Mm. And the way they did that episode was genius in the fact that they stretched it out. So it's almost like they were saying to the audience, look, yes, he might be from the mirror universe, but he might not be. Let's see how this plays out. Because there's a part of me that was starting to doubt it. Because you know when he was in the sort of pain booth
in the agonizer, which is still freaks me out, man.
And the guy was saying like, say her name, and he's kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't help you, sort of thing. There was a part of me then that was like, okay, maybe he's not. And then it flipped back to her. And then, like you say, you see her piece it together, and then obviously he takes the dude out, and then sort of says her. The minute he says her name, you're just like, oh man,
there it is.
It is on.
Because part of me says, they need to get home. Part of me wants to see them take down the Empire as well, which is like, how are they going to do that?
Yeah,
they can't. Yeah, they can't possibly.
Also, as well, my worry is if my boy is now outed as a villain, right? Because no matter how you slice it, even if he's a great character, he's still a villain to them because he's manipulated them, used them, got a few of them killed just to get them over to the mirror universe to do his own thing. You know what I mean?
Hold on a second.
What
are you saying?
I'm reading for Bear.
What am I doing? I'm talking to my friend Barry. Do you want to say hello, Barry?
Yeah.
Go on then. Say it in there.
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you all right?
She's nodding.
Okay.
What do you think of Star Trek?
Yeah,
I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, is that Klingon?
Right, you should be in bed.
I'm not.
I know you're not. That wasn't the question.
Just telling it as I see it, Dad.
All right, you go upstairs. Yeah, he's not in there. That's his. I'm speaking. He can hear us if we speak into there.
No, I am in here. I'm a genie.
Yeah, you're not a genie. Right, you go upstairs. She's just like, where's it coming from? Her eyes just went.
Barry the talking
Right.
mic.
Go upstairs, put your head on the pillow, and I'll come up and see you soon. But you've got to close your eyes, okay?
Okay.
All right, go on then. Wow. Anyway, where are we at?
Probably over our 5 minutes by now.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah. I just, for me, it's because what I don't want to see is somehow they got to keep him in the series.
Yeah, because he's wicked.
Because he's wicked. And I think, as a villain, you got a potential to be a whole Wrath of Khan business going on there, man.
Oh, for real?
Between
For
the two
real?
of them, because my girls got properly played. And what I quite liked as well was, I thought it was a great episode because they did some things I wasn't expecting. And I think when...
That killer high council.
Well, no, but just before that, I think the fact that when she was going up to be killed... even when she kind of went to dinner with her, I thought they were going to stretch it out and she was going to pretend to kind of like pally. And the minute they're having dinner, she's like,
oh my god! And it's like how I did. Oh, when she was asked to choose that guy.
oh no, God. Didn't see that coming.
Did not see that coming. The chef is excellent as always. Yeah, they really know how to cook their aliens. Yes, you chose well. God, as a treat, have my gland.
And the thing is, I didn't even want to ask what that gland was, where it come from, or what, man. Just nasty.
Her face just said it all, man.
Yeah. That for me was a standout episode. Yeah, and seeing the little trailer for what's coming next, I'm like, yeah, I'm on this, man.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
I won't say that.
Right, enough said. Let's move on. Yeah. Well, welcome back. That might have been slightly over 5 minutes, but it was great. Loving this show. Yeah. That's what I've got to say. Yeah. I thought there was something else we were going to talk about.
Yes, I have read a couple of comics. I've been using the Comic Haus app, which we talked about, which is the indie. It's basically like comicsology for indie comics, and it's great. It's really good, actually. And what is good about it, it does stuff by genre as well, which is really good. Interface works really well. What's the other thing is good is you can obviously do favorites, you can save stuff offline, but you can also buy comics directly
from the app, which you can no longer do with Comixology, for example.
Yeah, basically it's a subscription fee is £3 a month or £30 a year. That ain't a lot.
That ain't a lot.
You know, and that gives you access to all the indie comics in their catalogue. You can save as many comic books offline as your storage device will allow. And what's great about this is creators get 50% of the advert and subscription revenue, which is a pretty sweet deal. So I've read a couple of comics in there. One of the ones I read is called, the comic's called Bubbles O'Seven Simian Agent.
Nice.
And it's the publisher's Bounce Comics. And yeah, it was actually quite a fun. I've read like the first 2 issues. It's actually a really fun read. Really great, really good art as well. Actually, I was a bit surprised. I don't know why, but I wasn't necessarily expecting the art to be as good as it was. But the art's fantastic. Right. Basically, the first issue is only 16 pages, so it's a quick read. And his mission is to track down and neutralise the rogue threat of a Sadari organisation. SWIT is his greatest challenge to date, but is that mission as clear cut as it seems? It's a really fun comic. Written by Grain, do you know what? I can't even pronounce people's names. Grain Maginty, probably said that wrong. Matt Rook is the artist and colorist, lettered by Mike Stock. And yeah, and I'm really enjoying the Comic House app, so check that out. And on the flip side of that, I have also read a comic off the Inzio app, which we talked about last week, which is the European comic app. Well, they do other comics as well, but primarily it does European comics. Yeah. And I read volume 1 of the comic series is called The Last Templar, and volume 1 is called The Encoder. And basically, the blurb for that is The last Crusader city in the Holy Land is about to fall. 2 Knights Templar, obeying the Grand Master's orders, managed to escape the invading Muslim army on the Order's last ship. New York City today. During the unveiling of exhibition, some of the Vatican's treasures, 4 men disguised as Templars attacked the Metropolitan Museum and stole several artifacts, including a centuries-old decoder. This was a book. This was actually a novel.
Oh really?
Yeah, which I didn't read. As I started reading the comic, I was thinking this reads really familiar, and it was a novel. But also as well, I think it was done into a TV show as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. It's I don't know how you'll feel about it because it's got a bit of a Da Vinci Code vibe to it, and I know how much you love that.
It was the writing, man. It wasn't the
It wasn't the concept.
No.
Yeah, so I quite enjoyed it actually, and this is my first sort of proper experience with the Enzio app, and again I really enjoyed it. I think it's it's right up there with Comixology. I like the panel to panel stuff again, like Comixology. What I noticed, because I've added a few more comics to like my favourites list, not all the comics do it.
Right. Okay.
Whereas, would I be right in saying that all the Comixology's comics do it?
I believe so.
Yeah. So I was a little bit disappointed with that, just because I really like the panel-to-panel stuff. Although I think it's probably the English translation stuff where they kind of, some of them don't have it and some of them do. Whereas I think most of the sort of ones that are in French or whatever, I think all of them seem to have it.
Right. Okay.
So.
I think we've got one more thing to talk about.
Yes.
I haven't read any comics because I'm too busy trying to get my taxes done before the deadline.
And learning to walk again.
Yeah. But we've both watched the first episode of the latest DC TV universe offering, which is Black Lightning.
Dynamite. Oh, sorry.
No, wrong black, man. Wrong black.
Sorry.
Yeah, you should be. So, Black Lightning is actually what I really love. There's an article in The Guardian, on the Guardian website, called Black Lightning and the Rise of the Middle-Aged Superhero.
Yeah, I read that.
I was like, wow, being middle-aged myself.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. So Black Lightning is part of that CW stable of characters like the Flash and Supergirl and all that, but it's got a very, 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 very different tone. Mm-hmm. What I liked was how close it ran to the comic. Okay,
because I've never read a single Black Lightning comic. So
Black Lightning was created in, basically there's a guy, oh God, I can't believe I forgot his name. There was a guy, Tony Isabella. It's created by a white Italian guy, actually, and the artist on who he created it with was called Trevor Von Eden, right. And this was back in the 70s, 77, I think, and he had previously worked in Marvel on some Luke Cage comics.
Okay,
came to DC and pitched the idea for Black Lightning. So it was great. DC suddenly come up, look, here's a black superhero doing his thing. And, as time went by and we've become a little more educated, people have gone, so how come there's no, like, white hero called White Lightning? If he was a white hero, he'd just be called Lightning.
Well, and also as well, over here, White Lightning is a really cheap cider.
Yeah, there's that. And, he came out of the hood, went away, became a teacher, came back in, tried to help his community as a principal in a school, but kept being, Black Lightning, got invited to join the Justice League, turned them down because they were a bunch of jive-ass monkeys or whatever he called them. I might have made that up.
Batman, you jive-ass turkey.
Yeah. Later became... and so and then later times he had 2 daughters.
Okay.
It's kind of hard. I don't know. We're just too excited. So some spoilers might leak out, just so you know. Mm-hmm. Right. So what did you think? I should preface this by saying I've always liked Black Lightning as a character.
Do you know what?
Even though it's, black guy come out the hood, made good, the usual story. But despite that, in the comics, I've always liked him.
Yeah, and do you know what I liked about it? Because I'm a bit torn because obviously there's parts of me that I'm kind of like, okay, it's obviously there's important things to talk about. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes I'm kind of like, I also want a show which is like the Flash, but actually it's the brother. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or or a black woman, or someone who's not white doing that kind of stuff, and rather than necessarily always being a kind of like taking on the man. But on saying that, the way that they tackled it, I thought was really well done. And in many ways, I thought it was done better than the way Luke Cage did it.
Absolutely. That's one thing that really stuck out to me.
Because it didn't... there was moments watching Luke... And I really enjoyed Luke Cage, but there's moments watching Luke Cage where I literally felt the whole show ground to a halt while someone turned to the screen to give you a bit of a lecture on something.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas
absolutely,
this didn't. The plot moved, everything moved, and the acting was solid. And I've got to say, that dude that they cast as Black Lightning,
Cress Williams.
Yeah, boom.
I said, I just like his energy. I like his acting skills. I'm a fan.
I also like the way that even his alter ego is inspiring.
Yeah.
And you could almost argue that his alter ego is more inspiring than Black Lightning is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I just like the fact that he's the principal, and when he rocks up, he's got his like 3-piece suit and he looks kind of crisp, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel the need to kind of do a kind of bumbling alter ego type thing. You still wouldn't mess with him as the principal because he's a big dude. Yeah. You wouldn't mess with him,
He's got some skills, man.
And he's got skills. But what I liked is they showed his reasoning for giving up the mantle of Black Lightning, and that made sense. And it is interesting having that kind of older hero, because there's a bit where I'm trying my best not to spoil it, where he's kind of talking to a kind of confidant / mentor type figure. And you could and he kind of breaks it down, like, for him, there's just no end to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I get it. People need, Black Light in the streets or whatever. But, like, for me, there's just, you could see that there's just no end to it. And there was only going to be one end for him, and that's in the grave. You know what I mean? So I like that. It kind of showed that side to it, which I thought was good. But they managed to do it in a way and still touch on the social issues about race and police brutality and all that sort of stuff. And yet, it never felt bleak. It never felt like a bleak and hopeless show. Does that make sense? There was a real kind of There was a real kind of core of hope,
and it was a great family vibe. Even though like they argued, they didn't get on. You kind of felt this was a family. It felt good.
Yeah, but there's a bit where the sisters are arguing, and she's like, "Oh, just get on my case, bitch. Call me a bitch one more time." I like that guy. Say that again. Yeah, pop it in your face, man. But yeah, it was,
and the big guy, the bad guy, the big guy. Yeah. He's harsh, man.
Is this Tobias?
Tobias Well.
Right now, the thing is, I've been reading some reviews of it, right? And he's getting a lot of flack because they're kind of saying, "Oh, it's a great show about social justice and blah blah blah," but it's just a bit of a cardboard cutout villain. A bit like a Bond villain. And I'm like, so what? So what? Me? He said like 5 lines. Yeah.
Let's see where that goes first.
Yeah. Just give him, give him a chance, man.
And I thought for someone who's a rapper, he did quite good as an actor.
Yeah. Whilst I'm on subject to reviews, I just want to say to like anyone typing up a Black Lightning review or whatever, right? You do know that there are photos of what the guy looks like. So can we please stop with he's a black principal?
Yeah,
or he's a black man, because it's pretty obvious that he is from
the
titles, the picture. It's pretty obvious that he's a. So can we just say principal? Do you know what I mean? Come on, man.
Absolutely.
The amount of reviews I saw, and some of them, comment sites as well. It's like, come on, man, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, he's a principal. I had a big. It should be mentioned that in 2018, DC Comics are putting out a series which is 2018 this year. Mm-hmm. It's called Black Lightning: Cold Dead Hands. and it's actually written by Tony Isabella, and the artist is Trevor Von Eden. So it's the original team.
Oh, okay.
And it's a 6-issue miniseries.
Nice.
So, but that being said, I had a problem. Well, one of them is there's a bit where his mentor says, I've been working on a suit, because it's like before, but better. And he come out with that ain't really better, is it? It's like that suit needs a bit of streamlining because it don't look comfortable and it don't look like you can move too fast.
Although when he was in action, he didn't seem to have too many problems with it.
No. When he was in close quarters, he pulled out some moves. But it's like, I was like, someone's gonna shoot you because as you're walking, number one, you're obviously supremely confident because you ain't bothered. You're just strolling into trouble without a care. So either that suit is amazingly bulletproof, or you are supremely confident in your skills that have been on hold for the last 10 years.
I mean, no wonder my boy ended up in a bar full of blood, man. If you did behaving yourself like that, man.
He's just strolling along. There's a gun, block, duck.
But and I think as well, there's a bit like, and it sounds like I'm picking holes in it now, but it was a bit jarring because he does all the business. And let me tell you, when my boy's in action, people got a whooping in that show, man.
For real.
I mean, also, it's probably one of the most harshest like dry slaps I've ever seen in a network television show, man. And if you don't know the slap, you ain't seen the show properly. I was like, I thought he hit with a gun. That's a rewinder. No, that's the back of his head. That is a slap. Man.
I was like, how come that guy ain't lost teeth?
Yeah. There's a couple of bloodless bits there. Like, I'm sorry. When that guy was getting pistol near the end, I'm sorry, man.
No, that's it.
Come on.
He looked up, but I was expecting his face to be ruined. Yeah, there wasn't a scratch on him.
He literally put his hand on his throat to see if he had blood on it or something. I was like, come on.
I was like, they've obviously done that for like TV.
Yeah, it's fair enough,
Whatever.
But when he walks up to the guy who's got like his daughters, and he's just standing there. And the guy goes, nice suit. Right? And then shoots him in the chest. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but come on. Let's be honest, right? If a dude's just taken out a load of your boys, he rolls up to you, why would you aim your gun at the man's suit when his head is right there for the taking?
Man, it's the same old, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But, you know what I mean? I had to allow that. I just had to allow it, you know what I mean?
I know. I do think, though, come on, writers, you've all watched these shows before. That's what I always liked about Joss Whedon's writing. He'd look at that stuff and go, all right, well, let's not do that mistake again then. And then give them a way to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Yeah. Or even if they establish that he's got some kind of electrical field that bullets can't go through, that would be cool. I got no problem with that. You know what I mean? Because they've not really told me what his powers are. So I'm kind of like, whatever you throw at me, I'm going to roll with it. So if he'd gone for a headshot and it sort of bounced off, that would have been fine. But it was just that he shot him in the chest. And I was like... And to be honest, I've got to say, man, you put some trust in the dude who built that suit for you. Because you ain't even... That's your first out.
You ain't even battle tested it yet.
That's your first outing in that suit. And you're willing to let a dude shoot at point blank range. And just like drop a couple of one-liners at him. Boy, you got some trust, man.
For real.
But I did like the fact that when you dropped the line afterwards, when he was like, man, didn't even give a brother a chance to come up with someone who wrote lines.
Yeah. Do you know what? I mean, have you got any more problems with it?
I'm tired of shows where like the only time like non-white characters can get a look in if basically everyone in that show is the same colour.
The cartoon had Uncle Ruckus in.
Is that Boondocks, whatever it is?
Boondocks. Right. So the Boondocks, which was a comic before it was a TV show. Now the writer, when Boondocks the comic first started, it was a load of little, I was going to say sketches, but little vignettes, if you like, just commentary on the political situation. So it would touch on race, it would touch on everything because it was, and they had that whole thing about how come there's no white lightning, which we was talking about earlier. And now I get that he's called Black Lightning because that's what the original character was called. And to be fair, if it was the 70s or 80s, that's probably what a black dude would call themselves.
And it's Black Dynamite.
Yeah, it's Black Dynamite, because that's where we were back then. Blaxploitation, all the rest of it. So I can do with that. I'm okay with that. And with this character, I could do it as long as they don't. But the real issue here is, to me, is exactly what you said earlier. Is that okay? He's called Black Lightning, and we could talk about, and it's good that we could talk about that. Why do black characters have to be called Black this and that? Why can't they just be called Lightning? Like all white, like Justice League International had fire and ice, not white fire and white ice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why? So we could talk about that, and that's what Black Lightning allows us to do. So I'm happy with that. But what gets my goat is something you've already said. Reviewers, he's going, he's a black principal. No, he's a principal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't put a disclaimer on it like it's something amazing. Yeah, it's not amazing. It's standard. There are black principals all over the land, yours and ours.
Yeah.
You know, so it needs to be commonplace. So stop with that. But my other problem that you've just mentioned is and it's no reflection on the show itself, because I love the show. But again, and it's the same thing with Black Panther. Do you know what I mean? For black actors, for a lot of black actors to get up front and center, it's tough for that to happen in a standard show. Yeah, it has to happen in a inverted commas black show. Why is that the only way you'll accept it? I don't know. I'll get upset.
I actually I enjoyed it far more than I was expecting to. Forget Legends, forget Flash, forget Supergirl, right? I'm sorry. When they say, yeah, well, you can't, Black Lightning couldn't exist in the world. I'm sorry. You go back, right? You watch the first half of Arrow season 1, right? Coast City, whoever Arrow, is it Coast City? Coast City. Yeah, that could be down the road from where Black Lightning
Star
is.
City, Coast City is.
That could be down the road.
No, see, I ain't buying this, because I'm not what you say. I ain't buying this whole thing. It couldn't exist together because it's got a more adult tone. Arrow kill people left, right, and center. That ain't no kid show.
He broke a dude's back in the first episode for no reason other than to keep his secret.
Right? I'm sorry, it don't work. I ain't buying that.
I would argue that Arrow has now become somewhat softened to what it used to be. But that first season of Arrow, you could have easily had a crossover between Arrow and Black Lightning. Easily. And
then you're going to bring me back to, why didn't Vixen get her own live action series instead of an animated series? Don't get me wrong, DC's animated stuff is fantastic, and I really liked it. But why'd you go straight to that? Is it because it wasn't a full black cast? So I don't know. I could follow that one down a big rabbit hole.
Also, the last thing I'd say on it is, like, boy, they're kind of fit on the ground with their marketing for it.
Yeah,
most people have said marketing's been a bit, and it's dropped, and they've just dropped it on Netflix. I don't know. To me, again, it's just me and you. To me, it smacks of, let's just hedge our bets in case it don't work, and we've got to cut it loose.
Do you know what I found? There's on YouTube. It's like, Vixen, why is this Arrow spin-off not live action? And there's two white guys talking about it. I haven't listened to it. I don't know. But I was looking at some of the comments, and there's so much bullshit. Yeah, someone goes, I liked her when she showed up with the JLU stuff. I thought her powers were pretty cool, but they would be hard to display outside of animation. Bullshit. And the TV guys would have to create for her more villains. Problem being... And it all goes on like this. And then someone just went, black female superhero. That's why. There's no more theories. All those other bullshit explanations don't mean shit. Vix is one of the most interesting female heroes in the books right now, but she'll never be accepted as a viable live-action television presence with a blacktress playing her in America, period. Yeah. But I'm excited either way.
Do you know who would have done a good Vixen back in the day? Although she'd have to learn the American, she would have had to learn the American accent. Was my girl out of Blake 7?
Yes. Yes.
I can't remember what her name was, but you know what I'm talking about.
Josephine something, I'm sure. Yeah. Nice. Better than, do you know what? I still can't. Every time I watch Legends, I can't get my head around it, man.
Nonsense. I think the worst.
When she left, I was glad she left.
Yeah.
Yeah, not because I don't like her as an actress or her as a person, but it was just such nonsense casting.
The thing is, it's
Josette Simon was her name.
Yeah. The thing is, it's when they went back to get her, and she's in Africa.
Oh
and they got
my
in all
God!
she's all like in the traditional dress sort of it. It's just like, come on,
Oh,
come on.
because no one in the whole of Africa's got access to modern clothing.
Do you know what I mean? But it wasn't even that once. It was the fact that she just looked so out, because it's in the 30s or whatever, whenever they went. It was like 1930s, or it was World War One or something. I don't know. But it was like she just looked so out of. It just didn't. She just looked. If that was what you're going for, someone who's come from like Africa from the 30s.
From the 30s,
right? The casting is just completely wrong. Cast an African woman, or cast an actress that can do a fucking good African accent.
The last time I was so disappointed was when they had Kendra, the vampire slayer.
Do you know? No, I have to say that no one's ever going to be as bad as that. Because
it was like, okay, so, she's Jamaican, and it's like, that is by far. How did you let her on TV? That is for a show that got so much right. They got that so wrong. And the worst thing was, in the credits, it said like Kendra's voice coach, and I'm like, you need to take your name out of the credits, man, for your own professional integrity.
Is this okay? Yeah, that's fine. That's exactly what. Because you don't care. It sounds remotely Jamaican. Do you know what I mean? But wow.
I'm gonna have to search her now. See if she's embarrassed.
It was just so bad. It was so bad.
You could
Start to get bitter now. Do you know?
Yeah, no, exactly.
But yeah, no, I really liked.
Just because I'm a bit bored of it, is like, seriously, and it's not a single series that don't do it. All right, you're gonna waste your time going after a vigilante. And you're actually putting more effort into catching the good guy than you are actually catching the bad guys. I get that he's a vigilante and you've got to do something about that, but you're doing more about catching the good guy than the bad guy. I just can't.
I'm calling it now, man. By episode 7, there'll be a Black Lightning task force.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There will be.
And they'll find some sort of budget for it, because they always seem to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Congress will put, the council will put aside the special whatever. I'm just like, come on, man. It's like, yeah, I've been fighting Black Lightning for years. What? Why? Why?
Right, round this up, buddy. Look at that.
Okay, so there. Oh, blimey, is that the time?
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. That was us talking what we talk about. So you know the score. Tell us if you agreed or if you didn't, and you can tell us at the Geeks at geeksyndicate.co.uk. You can drop into Facebook. You can drop into Twitter. Keep an eye out on our website geeksyndicate.co.uk, and of course our Instagram and our Pinterest. So until next time, Geek Syndicate.
We out.
We out.